All right, let's take a look at this industrial design portfolio. His name is Nathan. He's a industrial designer, 5th-year student from France. English isn't so good, so allowed me to share his portfolio with you. Okay. Very simple. Well rendered. Surfaces broken up look good. 3D model looks good. No weird tangencies. But Achilles heel, it's very simple. Presentation looks good, nice and clean. Don't know about the green. Blue is okay. I think these renders are very small. I need to zoom up to it. Take up the whole page, something like this, and then add the words to the left. Show your design, proud, nice, and big. Render looks nice. Lighting, color, material, the texture and the finish. Surfaces are broken up with these parting lines, look nice and clean and simple. Font, I think can use some work. Position, I think can use some work. Doesn't quite flow with the shape of the actual product itself. I would probably just keep it nice and vertical down here instead of trying to arc it at the elbow. Very Behance-y. This seems like a social media type of product design, something that you see on Behance or Instagram. Simple, clean, well rendered. Probably gets a lot of likes. The issue with that is if you're putting this in a portfolio where an employer is trying to hire you, they want to see a little bit more. A little more complexity, a little more than just a simple tube that was bent, broken up with a couple different parting lines, and kind of just a statue that sits there without very much interaction. Does this presentation look good? Yeah. Do the renders look good? Yes. But I'm not too impressed by this portfolio piece right here. Opening shot. This is similar to the other one. Kind of blurry, impactful images, but I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking at. Sketches look good, nice and clean. White background, inspiration shots. Perspective looks good, although these are just straight lines, boxes, flat panels, so nothing too complicated as far as perspective goes. Again, a very simple product, very geometric, flat, not too overly complex. Very nice clean renders here. Could be actual 3D renders or could be Photoshop. Straight on view, looks nice and clean. Everything just looks very small, however. Front view shot doesn't look too interesting, but seems like everything is in the rear. All the mechanics, the graphics, the logo. Very clean and nice looking. Again though, just everything is so small, I have to zoom up into it. Potential employers, usually they're managers, designers who've been in the field for a long time. They're old. They've probably been looking at a screen like myself for a long time. I wear glasses, my eyes are not too good, so just help us out. This is essentially the ideal industrial design type of mechanics. Very simple. Straight tube stand with a pivoting point. Looks like a ball joint on a puck. Probably needs to eventually be beefier. That's what a mechanical engineer would do after looking at this design. But as a design student portfolio, it looks good. Kind of a useless page here. Showing the tech. Okay, cool. This is not really our field. But fine, good that you thought about it. But to me, it's a little bit of a waste of a page. Slides like these, I just like everything to be blown up, take up its own page. I don't think that it's a good idea to have this lamp in there. You kind of are throwing it in there as a secondary product in this portfolio piece. I think the moneymaker really is the monitor and the monitor stand. A lot of students tend to do that where they're kind of lumping in two different product designs into one portfolio piece. Just stick with one, do your best on it, keep it nice and simple. Very moody shot, looks cool, very advertising, but doesn't really highlight your design too much. More of a marketing piece than an actual industrial design showing off and highlighting your skills. What I would do, zoom into it like that. Just look at a page that looks more like this, and maybe some words, or maybe another view of this front and then the rear. A designer that's been learning SolidWorks or a 3D program for less than a year could make shapes like these. They're just very geometric, simple extrusions and revolve tool. So again, as an industrial designer who's really trying to get hired, showing off your skills in your portfolio, you should really try to get out of your comfort zone. So to me, I think you're really good at proportions. I think you're really good at rendering. I think you have a good sense of aesthetic, which could be good for lighting, could be good for furniture, front view, straight on shots of your product. This one's getting a little bit more complicated, although 3D model, it's very, very simple. To an industrial designers who've been designing for 5 to 10 years, they'll look at something like this, and it looks like you could build it within about a few hours. This is getting a little bit more towards the right direction. It's showing that you're thinking about the interior. If you're going to be doing something that's so simple, it's good that you show that you spent the time to really think about all the different mechanics inside, how the product actually works. Looks like you have an LED tube right there. You spent all your time building all these things out, thinking about how it works, how it goes into the cylinder. Exploded view shows all the different internals. Very nice. I think this shot so far is the most successful one that I've seen yet. This is very beautifully rendered, dramatic light, dark arm, not emphasizing the arm, potentially showing maybe how to turn it on and off. Beautiful render. I just really would like to see this blown up, something like that. Imagine a page that just looks like this. It's a beautiful shot. I don't think it helps too much to have this little box on the left showing the environment. Are you designing chairs? Are you designing stands? Are you designing this very abyss type of gray room that it sits in? Because it is taking up a lot of the real estate, when in reality, this is your actual design. This is what you'll be hired to do, to show your actual product. Think about a page that looks like that. It would be a lot more powerful, highlight your design, take up more of the page real estate. Industrial designers have a lot of skills, modeling skills, rendering skills, research, prototyping, 3D printing. And right now it seems you are leading more towards the visualization, the rendering part, more than the actual design part. If you want to be an industrial designer, show more development, show me sketches, research, design trends, 3D modeling, mock-ups, low fidelity, high fidelity, such as 3D printing, foam shaping, painting, to make it look like a real product. So far right now, it seems more like a visualization portfolio. This looks to be the 4th portfolio piece so far. Every portfolio piece has been very, very short, simple, clean. I would recommend simplifying it into about 3 portfolio pieces and really extending each portfolio piece to show a lot more thorough process on how you got to your final design. Little bit more development. Nice clean sketches, very good at graphics design, formatted portfolio slides. Every one is very consistent, looks good. Sketches are good. So far, I think this portfolio piece is the most complicated one yet. It's still a very simple design. I think this is starting to become impressive, at least to me. A wearable, there's a lot more factors that goes into it. Things such as comfortability, wearability, who is the product for, what is their head size, how would it be comfortable to them, how would it be adjusted to them, the different parts that allows it to move and articulate in order to fit the head size, things such as this soft pad that's in the back, showing comfort, prolonged period of wear, more complicated surfacing, although still very simple, but more than what I've seen so far with the other portfolio pieces. Broken up into some tech, looks like some sort of a sensor panel here. Color, material, finish, hard plastic with a softer material to make contact with the body. This looks like some sort of an audio earpiece. Articulating band on the right. So if you think about all those elements that I just said, those are the things that makes your portfolio piece more impressive. Things that you've thought about to help make this product work interfacing with the body. Comparing it to the very first portfolio piece, where we only saw sort of just a statue. I'm talking about that air vent in the kitchen that just sits on the counter. It's just a simple, pretty trophy looking product, but you never really interact with it too much other than pressing the buttons. There's no ergonomics to it. It's just a simple kind of trophy that sits on the counter. And so it doesn't show off your industrial design skill. Comparing it with a product like this, with all the different elements that you have to think about, comfortability, how the product fits on the head, how is it adjusted. Projects like these, I think this is a stronger one that you should really expand on. How did you come up with this form factor? What are the different styles and shapes that got you to think that this is the best form factor? Did you try any low fidelity mock-ups? Did you 3D print anything? Really expand on this portfolio piece, and I think it would be very, very strong and very powerful. I think you should just have a very clear image of what you're actually going to show. Make it nice and big, fill up the page. You can be very dramatic without being so vague with the blurring. Sketches look great, although still very boxy. Perspective is spot on. Nothing that I see that stands out that's weird to me. The box shape looks good. The lens barrel looks good, perspective-wise. Details are all there. Combination of very strong detailing with some very vague light sketches makes the slide look successful. I would really fill up the whole page. Think about a page that looks something like this. It's a lot more powerful than something like this. Move all of these inspiration slides to its own separate slide. Wonderful shot here. Beautiful shot. Very impactful. Straight on front view makes it look nice and clean. Looks like you really spent the time to model out every single one of these pieces. This is a very, very nice portfolio piece. I think this should be one of the 3 that you end up keeping. First one being the head mount. Second one is this camera. And the very last one, unless you want to get into lighting or furniture, you could pick one of the first couple ones, probably the third portfolio piece with the light. I would remove the air vent and the monitor. Only keep those ones if you're applying and interviewing with a company that makes similar products like that. Otherwise, I would show something that really shows off more of your skill. What are the other kind of lenses that could attach to this camera? This one here kind of looks like maybe a 50 millimeter. What does a zoom lens look like? Or a telephoto lens look like? That would be great to see. Have 3 of them at least lined up vertically. That would be a really cool, powerful shot. Very dramatic lighting, only showing what you want the user to see. Visualization, your skill is very strong, Nathan. I think this handle is really cool looking. I think you did a great job. Lots going on. Looks like you spent a lot of time to really fine tune, render this. I would just really like to see this alone. Something like this, a shot, potentially having lines, going to the part, calling them out, showing what they do, what you meant for them to do. A case, very nice. Reminds me of the Apple Vision Pro case. I think another powerful shot would be the case opened up and the camera inside. This is what I'm talking about. More development. Looks like a 3D print. You thought about the proportions, playing around with it physically in your hand, trying out the different accessories that attaches to the camera, such as the light box and the handles. So just more slides like this, where you're really diving deep into the development, maybe showing me different inputs, buttons, dials that you've tried out. Think about what are you trying to get across when you have a page like this. Sure, it might look very cool. Are you telling me that you're not an industrial designer, you're a cinematographer? Maybe you're a visualizer. You want to make cool renders more than actual design. I'm taking it more of an industrial design approach, where you should be really showing off your product, your actual design, the form, the shapes, the details, the colors, the materials that you've selected for your actual product. When you show more of those type of items, you're getting more into the design part of it rather than the CAD or the visualization. You're showing your broad skills that you can come up with a good product that users would enjoy to use and would want to buy. Shots like these, they look very cool, but we're not cinematographers. We're not renderers. We render, but we're not renders, if that makes sense. So very nice overall, clean portfolio. I did really enjoy looking at this. Very visually impactful, very pleasant to look at, simple layouts, not too complicated. I would add some callouts to certain things just to give a little bit of a description on what the things are, especially if the person is not a camera person. What is this part right here? Of course, it's a camera hood, lens cover, the actual lens itself, the focus ring, things like this. Have a whole page, take it all up, something like this. It's a very nice render. Call it out. Show off all your little details that you applied to this part. Projects like these, reserve them for a lighting company when you're going to interview with them. However, they're very simple. They don't show off your skills. Again, students with a few years of experience can pull something like this off. Most likely not with the finesse that you have, your sense of proportion, your sense of aesthetic. I think if I were to give this a grade, it would land within a hard B. I think it's very impressive. I think you would still be hired by employers. It might not be A tier, but I think it easily could be A tier. If you just add in a couple more thorough process pages and take in some of the feedback that I've given you, this could easily get into A tier. Yo designers, hope you enjoyed that episode of Portfolio Pinup. I want to keep this going, so if you want to be able to be on the next episode of Portfolio Pinup, get feedback from me, go ahead and shoot me an email. The link should be down below in the description. I'd really love to hear from you, so have your portfolio ready and we could figure out the details from there. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.